It's Gobshite tonight. Show respect, don't start a fight. With all the gimmicks you love to see, and some jokes understood by Reese Kennedy. So grab a drink and do what's right. All the cool kids are watching Gobshite tonight.
Hello there, and welcome to Gobshite Tonight. Let's just move this incredibly annoying scroll filters off. Remove. Yes, remove the scroll, and remove the scroll on me. We are very, very professional here on Gobshite Tonight. You will have just heard, hopefully, the exciting new jingle brought to us. An exciting new jingle brought to us by our very own Todd. Recorded a lovely little jingle for us for Gobshite Tonight. And joining me this week on Gobshite Tonight is Hadley Moon, Director of Football for Real Madrid. Hello, Hadley.
Hello, Jack. Well, thank you so much for having me on this evening. It's nice to be in the studio, and yeah, hopefully it'll be good fun.
We're gonna have a lovely old time. We're gonna have a chat about the table. We're gonna have a chat about all the excitement that's taken place over the past week. Lots of gambling, lots of exploits, and yeah, we're gonna have to have a dive into the Newcastle season and the All Striker season. We're gonna have some lovely chat. I am, of course, wearing my Real Madrid style jumper. Foxes, hallucinogenics. We're really hitting. Yeah, we're paying respect to my second team this week.
Well, it's an important part of the respect campaign. I mean, it's possibly the main objective of the respect campaign is to show respect to Real Madrid.
Yes, yeah, that is the primary aim of the respect campaign, is to not write Real Madrid off every season.
As the media love to do.
Yeah, getting a bit of grief from the YouTube chat for teasing that I was going to have a nasty tackle in the intro. That might come. That might come next week when I've put a bit more effort in. But yeah, day's turnaround was not enough time to do that. It took me long enough to get the moving intro and two cameras going on at the same time. It's too much effort for what is essentially just a nice chat with some friends.
No, I haven't been actually able to hear the jingle, so if Todd's out there, I'm sure it's good. I'm not passing it over to not liking it.
Yeah, because of technology, Hadley can't hear the jingle, so he's going to be the last person to hear it when you watch this back. If you dare watch it back, I
was ushered in by a runner when I arrived at the studio. It's a soundproof booth. It could be anything. I just don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, chat, if you've got any questions for Hadley that you want to ask him today, now is your chance to kind of speak up or forever hold your peace. But I suppose we'll start where we always do. Hadley, who's been good? Who's been shit so far this season? How do you feel it's going for Real Madrid first and foremost?
Well, I think Real Madrid are slightly underperforming, if you ask me, but it's been a massive leap, we have to say, from bottom 2 seasons in a row. But the transformation since we managed to eject the duplicitous Larry from legal has been stratospheric. And having signed Klopp, I think we can only go from strength to strength.
Yeah.
The only regret would be that to go top, we'd have to take over our beloved brothers, the Pocket Dogs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're one of the few directors of football to rate and be nice to the Pocket Dogs.
Well, it's solidarity. You've got to show solidarity across these communities.
Two much maligned communities have got to bandy together. And
look out for each other.
As you can see by the table, You can't see the table, Hadley, because again,
No.
you don't get the same tech that
Oh no, I'm watching on YouTube.
you're watching on
just literally-
YouTube. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, I've got it. I've got it up.
So you can see the table then. Pocket
Yeah.
Dogs are first, so Real Madrid second, Half Man third. Now, in game, that might be slightly different because in game, the tiebreaker is on alphabetical rather than goal difference. But I can't be able to fix that. But so
Yeah.
we're gonna just for the sake of it, we're gonna say you're second because I reckon you could beat Half Man.
I could live in that fantasy. Yes.
Yeah, three. Go.
Sorry, but in terms of who's doing well, I have to give a shout out to Mart. Obviously, Mart is legendary in some corners of Molesey now for guiding Molesey Football Club to such great success. And, I'm currently in talks to get a plinth in his honour. But I have to say, Millwall, he's taken the basic idea of what the Newcastle season was.
Yeah.
And he's turned it into sort of a legends team for Tottenham. To begin with, I was a little bit, really, you can't commit to the bit. You need to get the current team.
Yeah.
But
Is it a bit of gimmick infringement, or has he just twisted the gimmick just enough for it to be its own thing? And by the looks of it, a more successful thing.
well, I have to say he is playing with Tottenham and not Steve Bruce.
Yes.
I mean,
There's quite a difference between Pochettino and Steve Bruce.
yeah, he's building for success. Obviously, they had a bit of a slow start, but they played some entertaining football, some big wins.
Yeah, and some very, very entertaining games. And even the games they've lost have been barnstormers, thanks to the fact that they give up loads of chances.
Well, I think there's an element of the Real Madrid there as well, because our season seems to have been characterised by, even when we lose, we score a lot.
Yeah.
More of perhaps a slightly better leads in that respect.
I'm more than happy to jump on Leeds. George is saying, if only you had someone in legal who could prosecute for gimmick infringement. But Real Madrid are a clean club now. They're not asked about ironclad legal contracts or any chicanery of that nature. You moved on from Larry.
We've moved on from Larry. The fact that we don't have wingman clauses anymore, so we no longer have the likes of Maguire turning up 2 hours late to training with a buzz still on, is a good thing for the club, and I think that's being reflected in the performances.
Very much so, and they've been a real joy to watch this season as well. So Real Madrid, I hate to say it, but you've really got the best out of Pogba, and reuniting Pogba and Fernandes has just been, it's been lovely stuff.
It has been excellent. I do want to talk a bit about Richarlison, but saying Mane, Fernandes, and Pogba, revelation to this side. Absolutely excellent players. Can't speak their praises enough.
Yeah, and Richarlison, a surprise package for the Gobshite League. Not really pulled up any trees in the past, but he's doing the business out on that right wing for you.
Yeah, well, I think that's our ethos as a club. We're a family club. We care about our players. We look to scout talent that perhaps have been, not appreciated elsewhere. Like a Fernandes, like a Pogba, and give them the confidence that they need. That we know that once they have it, that they can just achieve anything they want. They've been held back by shoddy administrations, and that's what we're about now.
I'm not sure Pogba was being held back. I think Pogba was, if anything, he just stayed too long and was, he felt he'd achieved all he could with Manchester, and it was time for a change of scenery. We've not had Bruno for a long time, so we can't take credit or blame for any mismanagement of Bruno since season 2. I don't think so. I wash my hands of Bruno Fernandes.
I think Manchester have to be recognised as good recognisers of talent, but perhaps they're not the club that get them to their elite performance. They're a nice feeder club for us big dogs.
Yeah.
But I shall stop being so rude about Manchester now. They're a good solid side, and I like them.
No, we're rubbish this season. I'm sick of it. I came in with reasonable hopes after those first few games, but they've just been immensely disappointing since then, and yeah, I hate them all.
Well,
So,
that opener against Martyrs is one of my favourite games of the season so far, and it may not be yours, but it's the amount of chances that Havertz created,
oh,
the heroics in goal. It was
it
a real good match.
it was a barnstormer. It was, and yeah, that game is what gave me a false sense of how good we were because it was like we're all over these fuckers, and we've still managed to lose this one. But we'll just blow every team away like that. And since then, we've not quite had that same level of output, which is just a little bit disappointing. But we're
Mhm.
still we're still in there, nearly, just about amongst it. So
Yeah,
we're not giving up entirely yet. But maybe it's Manchester's should just focus on the cup, like we're good at.
yeah, I think that's probably a good strategy. Remember, we're at season one of a reset. You've got time to build. This is a project. Trust the process.
So we've talked a little bit about who's been good. Is there anyone you want to, dig out? Say they've just been rubbish. I mean, we're looking down at that bottom end of the table. Arbor Red, Tite, Chike, already at risk. FC Sirs, just fucking awful. Anyone
No.
else you want to stick the boot in on?
Well, we talk about bottle jobs in this league, and the biggest bottle job isn't even in the league. Obviously, Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
They a terrible club with terrible players, and they don't deserve to be in this league because the moment that Real Madrid are on a renaissance, they think, can't take the heat of this no more. We're out.
yeah,
I know that there may be behind the scenes business that keeps that director of football away, but we all know he's running scared.
yeah.
But sorry,
They're a horrible club with horrible fans. Surreal Madrid. No, Surreal Madrid. Crystal Palace. Just yeah, a blight on the league, and I'm glad we've seen the back of them.
uh, but yeah, I suppose the most obvious one would be FC Sars. But they are a proud club. They just go into a poor run of form. I'd say Los Hijros de Chud, they could be doing better. They could be doing better. But someone's got to lose. We've been the whipping boys for a couple of seasons. We know what it's like when you're under pressure, bottom of the table. The media's laughing at you. It's all right for us talking heads to come on and slag them off, but it's difficult for them. I've got
Yeah,
empathy for them.
when the pressure's on, it's all well and good us from the ivory tower of our studios. We're not the ones on the pitch day in day out trying to turn things around. And how do you feel about Hios's snapping up of Larry from Legal as a private investigator? That's got to ruffle some feathers in the Real Madrid camp.
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, when we found out that Larry was a fan of Crystal Palace, it all came. The jigsaw came together, and I suppose it was kind of explained at the time, but I had the wool pulled over my eyes. I accept full responsibility for the Newcastle season. Larry had met who he said was some very nice Saudi royalty who had struggled to buy a club in Britain,
Yeah,
and would Real Madrid be interested in transporting that team to New Zealand at the time? And to be honest, I trusted Larry's judgment 100%. I didn't think there was anything underhand about it. I'd heard about Steve Bruce. He seemed like a nice guy, and I went along with it. And the buck stops with me. And I'm just glad that we were able to get out from under the tyranny of Larry. But yeah, like you say, Jack, going to Los Hijos, it is fishy. It is very fishy. We wonder if we always assumed it was Crystal Palace behind this, but maybe it was Los Hijos de Chud.
yeah. Two deeply unpleasant teams that uh, you could you'd be hard. You wouldn't want to meet either one of them in a dark alley on a late at night.
No. I mean, even Maguire was scared of Larry.
Yeah, and Maguire's scared of nothing,
Yeah.
but scared of Larry. So, yeah,
I'd say taking one from George. I think that's unfair. The Magpie players that I pick up near the end of the draft are absolutely integral to our plans and ones for the future. I reject that about getting bored. Yeah, I agree. I think the commercial side of Los Hijos de Chad collapsing does coincide quite nicely with Larry joining them.
Yeah, he's come in and ripped up a load of lucrative contracts, and look at where Hios are in the table. They're suffering funds wise, and it's showing on the pitch. You get the impression with Hios that maybe their players just aren't up to the same standard as the rest of the players in the league.
I, I think some could share that impression, Jack.
So, yeah, let's take a dive into the Newcastle season then. When you decided to go for Newcastle, what did you expect to come last? Did you expect it to go better than it did? Do you expect it to go worse than it did?
Well, I think you kind of touched on this last week with George about looking behind the curtain. Now, I'm not someone who's ever really played Football Manager. I've got 2012. Didn't really play it very much,
Yeah.
and I having played a couple of seasons of this, I thought, well, how much difference does it actually make the quality of the player? And obviously, I'm a Newcastle fan. Larry came with that very lucrative offer. We thought, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see. I was surprised how badly we were doing. Not that we went last, but that we came so far last was a surprise. But it turns out that the stats of the players does make a huge difference.
But it's good to have a scientific approach to this kind of thing and look at it and go, well, yeah, how would a Premier League team, albeit an occasionally ropey Premier League team, how do they do when coming up against these super teams being pulled from everywhere? And we got our answer, generally pretty badly.
Yes, yeah, but not so far away from their real world form, to be honest.
Yeah, and
I know the Premier League's gotten stronger, but they're not super teams, are they?
No, they're not. And still reasonably entertaining. I remember getting behind Surreal for a couple of very fun results against the Ducks, against the Dogs. There were. Did you beat Halfman, or was that in the striker season that?
I think we beat Wedge Bromwich Albion in the striker season. We did the double over the Ducks in the Newcastle season, I think. I mean, it is kind of ancient history now. We've drawn a close to that chapter, but it was a very, very fun season. I think the experiment perhaps would have gone better with a complete Premier League team that was based on a team that actually works well. Obviously, in real life, like this isn't real life, Newcastle are a mixed bag. They're kind of coming off the defensive solidity that Benitez put in place. Steve Bruce is statistically the worst manager with 300 games in the Premier League. It will fall apart and crumble. So if we had been able to take a Chelsea or something, or like a more mid-table club that was more cohesive, maybe we wouldn't have done so badly. But I think the team we chose to transplant were already bad.
But it was, and like George raises, the Gobshite League wouldn't be what it was without those two surreal seasons. So let's move on to the all-striker season, which I think that probably had a bigger effect on the wider draft by just taking a lot of teams that didn't get a striker early all of a sudden realise there aren't any good strikers in this team in the pool anymore. Where are they all going? Oh, Hadley's got them all.
Yeah, I don't know how long it took people to twig. I have to for that season. I I did outsource a lot of my scouting. I have to thank Calvin and James for doing an excellent job scouting strikers for me. And so they were forewarned, I suppose, to my intentions. But yeah, that was a very fun thing to draft. I was hoping for lots of sort of 5-4 results. I didn't really get them. I suppose the problem was it was Steve Bruce again. You know, he'll line up 10 defenders when he hasn't got one.
Yeah, and Fabberini is not necessarily as good as he was at right back. You don't necessarily want him to be your starting right back every single game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was another entertaining season for Surreal, and I suppose after those 2 seasons of penance and just stretching the very concept of the draft, you've now come back with you took a manager very early this draft. You've got a much more solid base of a team, and Surreal are really reaping the rewards from it.
Yeah, well, we're looking. If we are third, then obviously our top league position was season 2. We came 4th. We were very happy with that. We finished above Crystal Palace, which we were very happy about. Yeah, going for Klopp was very, very important for us. That's why we did pick a manager so early. We decided that the game engine does reward having a good manager. And obviously getting Mane was very important. We had scouted him from the season before from Crystal Palace. Every time I switched on the stream, he seemed to be banging in 2-3 goals. So he was top of the list. Getting Fernandes and Pogba, maybe a bit of a mean choice at the time that's paid off.
And, well, you mentioned Sadio Mane. I've got the scorer table up now, and tied in second place are Chiro Immobile and Sadio Mane for Real Madrid, which kind of puts a marker down on where you are this season. That you've got two of the 4 top scorers in the league on your side. It's exciting times at the club.
And then when you remember James Milner's there up there and going, and that's penalties, is it? So. I know Chiro's gotten a few penalties, and yeah, that's another thing coming into the season. We really wanted to award Chiro because he was a real outstanding star for us in the striker season. I did want to bring back Rashford, but I risked Rashford because I wanted to reward the good performances. Unfortunately, the doctor had to go practice medicine elsewhere, but hopefully he returns to us. But Ronaldo languishing. Just not Chile.
It's not quite happening for Chile and Menace yet this season. They've had some good results. They've had some middling results, and yeah, Ronnie's not quite firing on all cylinders yet, except for against Manchester, because he scored an absolute screamer to win the game 3-2. So thank you, Ronnie. You served us well for 3 seasons.
Nicky's saying about Benzema, I think, who's doing well? That winner today, or the equaliser from Benzema today, amazing. You don't get that from an average player.
I can't actually scroll down that browser anymore to find Benzema. There is potentially a Benzema-related mistake. Ooh. So I don't know where Benzema should be in that table if there was a Benzema level mistake. But the website in many ways is it's a Benzema operation. It's very you set it up and then you pass it on to someone else to score the goal, and George scores the goal, and I just dick about with some code.
Well, this whole thing is just art. The whole operation is art. The daily streams, the website, the crossword, the now 3 group chats across the Thrones world of football-related stuff. It is a collective exercise in performance, and it's an honour to be a part of it.
It's without going too real and too. It's been a really, really shit year for a lot. The last since last March, it's been really, really shit. But we've had a real lot of fun doing.
Well, I know you got married, Matt, but that's not supposed to be shit.
That was all right. If
that was okay.
Yeah. If I had to choose a highlight, it was probably winning the cup. But second was getting married, I suppose.
Sorry to undercut your heartfelt love letter to the group. I can't help myself.
It's all right. It's someone needed to ironically undercut it, and if it wasn't me, it needed to be you. It is very, very entertaining. Like I said to George last week, and when Todd was messaging me saying, "I've written a jingle." Todd messaged me at what must have been about 12 o'clock his time on the Wednesday after the stream, being like, I've just got up on the stream and written you a jingle, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what we need. We need more stacking jokes on top of jokes on top of... And like, is the most ridiculous thing I can do to make a website for this? Yes, it is. Let's do it. Is the most ridiculous thing we can do now to have a weekly chat show about a football league that none of us actually have any control over? Yeah, but it's what we're doing, and it's what we enjoy, and it's not going anywhere because it's all on YouTube.
I think the logical endpoint of this is now sort of a side event to Stalek, where we get a big projector up and Reese does live commentary of a whole season.
Yeah, we do. We blast through an entire season in over a weekend. Yeah. And just shout at the screen, and that's got to be the end goal, hasn't it? When we can meet in person, a weekend stream of can we need your pub and we need your projector. We're going to put sport on it, but it's only sport that about 18 people are going to watch, and there's only going to be 10 people there for it.
Yeah, well, it's got to happen. June 21st.
yeah. That Monday, as soon as the pubs are open, it's like, right, here we go. Reese, get on a plane from Romania because we need you to come and broadcast from a beer garden. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about? Let me just check my agenda. Not that we've run out of things to talk about already. We've done... Where are we?
How many Thrones players can we draft? So we do 5 aside, George. Get a bit of 8 aside going. I mean, my natural position is left back in the changing rooms, but I'll see what I can do.
My natural position is left back until I run for 2 minutes and then have to go in goal. Just go and go like this.
Yeah.
That would be deeply unpleasant for everyone listening. I hope you really enjoyed that sound. Yeah, it will be really good to have all the Gobshites together again to properly enjoy this, rather than just chat to each other through ever increasing group chats of different group chats with essentially the same people in them. We just need more of them. More of them.
Well, on a Monday morning, I open up my fantasy football app and go, no, I don't want to look at this. So I go, well, I'm almost top of the table over here. This is where I'll camp out for the week.
Yeah, you look at the different chats and you go, right, well, I'm getting hammered in Simul Draft. I'm getting hammered in FPL. Looks like it's Gobshite for me this week. Yeah. Anyone else we want to chat about who's been good this season? Romelu Lukaku, a late starter, but slowly surging up the scorer table, up at joint 9th now.
Well, we played 10 games.
Yes, I believe.
Yeah, so he's got 5 goals. So that's a goal every other game. But he got a season's worth in a single game. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good work, Rom. Yeah, depressingly, no Manchester players in that table yet either, because we just keep spreading our goals about amongst other people. Very, very disappointing. George, I don't believe you have won FPL yet, I think, but I also don't know if I've ever taken you yet either.
It's Nicky who's top, but he's bottom of our league here. He's top of our other league there. So he's a man of contrasts.
Yeah.
And a militant love for Pink Floyd, which I can only respect.
Yeah, Pink Floyd, I think, are wank. But that's fine. We're not going to get into slagging off Pink Floyd here. That's not what this show's about. That's for my other show, which is on Wednesdays. the
Music Club.
No, Pink Floyd are wank tonight. Yeah,
it's like perhaps apocryphal story about John Lydon going into Vivienne Westwood's shop wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt, and he'd just written "I hate" across the top of it.
That's I can get behind that. That might be the most relatable thing John Lydon's ever done, or especially the most I've liked John Lydon in a very long time.
In a very long time.
Yeah. To get back onto football very, very briefly, let's talk about Leon Bailey, who has just been Josh Carr, the dearly departed. Now that he's off being a Doctor Who podcaster and like Facebook, he's one of those people who now gets his tweets shared on Facebook as memes, which is just
viral sensation.
Viral sensation, Josh Carr.
Oh.
Yeah. He saw something in Leon Bailey at the start of last season, and some people, I'm not going to say who, took the piss out of him a lot for it. And there's egg on their face now. There's egg on their face because...
Definitely.
He's up there with Chiro and Sadio Mane scoring all the goals.
Yeah, under great stewardship from Wedge. Yeah, really bringing out the best in that player.
Yeah, when Wedge brought in Leon Bailey to play alongside Leon Bailey and Erling Haaland, you probably went, which of these is going to be my 8 goals in 10 games player? I was like, it's probably Haaland, isn't it? No, it's Leon Bailey, the young Jamaican. So yeah,
good for him. He's got a big career ahead of him. It's almost a shame that we're in a time warp and that every season he's kind of reset to his original potential. It only benefits the big dogs like Messi and Ronaldo. Never the precocious talents.
Yeah, that is what one of the real shames of the league is that when a young player has got so much better over the course of the season, at the end of it you go, well, you could be rubbish again next year. We literally have no way of knowing whether you're gonna make it or not.
We do not have the technology.
Yeah. All right. I think that's been a good gobshite tonight. So, is there anything else you want to say, Hadley? Anything you want to get off your chest?
I'd just say that I was beginning to think after losing my pleb points every week that I was going to start lobbying the government for controls on this because the fun was definitely stopping. But I'm on a hot streak. Got 2k in the bank. You better watch out. Your wallets are mine.
Yeah, pleb points once again have not been a successful week on the pleb points for me, but we'll see what we can do.
I'm calling for there to be a prize at the end of the season for the person with the most pleb points.
I think there should be a prize for the person who's lost the most pleb points. That's the person who gambled the most pleb points. I think there should be a prize for.
You
And
got one hand on the trophy there.
yeah, and as one of the other hand is organising the globbies to make sure that I get that prize.
Yeah.
If no one's going to recognise me, I will recognise myself.
We all appreciate you, Jack, and what you do for the league. You're a fundamental part of the media landscape. It wouldn't be the same without you.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely not just an egomaniac who's out of control. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow, 12-ish, or Reese will be back tomorrow, 12-ish, for more points. And I think what I'll do, just to see us out, is play the jingle one more time. So, Hadley, thank you very much for joining us, and very, very much enjoyed having you on Gobshite tonight, and we'll hope to have you back soon.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. It was an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I'd love to come back.
Great stuff. And next week, I'm happy to confirm, we have the top of the league at the minute, Calvin of the Pocket Dogs, not the Bottle Jobs. We have top of the league Calvin joining us next week, so that's going to be, and I have never spoken to Calvin in real life before, so that is going to be some grade A television.
I can respect this. Excellent.
Anyway, thank you all for watching and chatting along with us. We'll be back next week, and we'll catch you tomorrow. And with that, it's
Gobshite tonight. Show respect, don't start a fight. With all the gimmicks you love to see, and some jokes on distilleries Kennedy. So grab a drink and do us right. All the cool kids are watching Gobshite tonight.
end. All right.